You're free to disagree. Being wrong is, after all, a fundamental right. But when the whirlwind of arguments for each of the dozens of contenders since Pong finally settle, only one game stands among the others. Thanks for coming, Half-Life 2, you put up a hell of a fight, and so did you, Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario Bros. 3, Chrono Trigger, and all the others. But the votes are in, and there's no award for second place. It's been said in more publications than I dare to count, but more importantly, I have said it before, and I have the full confidence to say it again. This is the greatest video game of all time. It's the king of kings, the legend of legends, the masterpiece of masterpieces, the Jabu Jabu of Jabu Jabus, the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And I have to hand it to our good pal Eric from Texas. He really knows how to make my heart sing, as well as how to elicit from me 4.5 emotional minutes of unrelenting gushing. Eric sent us a box full of Nintendo classics, chief among them, this. I mean, I'm freaking out here, and verily, Eric, thou hast felt it. So this is actually the GameCube version of Ocarina of Time, released in 2003 as a free pre-order gift with the new Zelda game, The Wind Waker. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time was actually my first video assignment for Classic Game Room. I did an epic 10-minute review over on Mark's channel, so for my full thoughts on Ocarina of Time, check out that review. It's really in-depth, and frankly, I analyzed just about every last detail of this masterpiece, as only I can do. In fact, I think it's still one of my best CGR reviews, which is fitting, because again, Ocarina of Time is the best video game I've ever freaking played. But what makes this version a really nice port is the GameCube. Nintendo's purple console cleans up the muddiness that was characteristic of even the best-looking Nintendo 64 games. Hyrule was a gorgeous place in 1998, but although the textures and models look dated, the art and presentation look better than ever. But on the other side of the rupee, what doesn't work as well on the GameCube are the controls. Now, I consider the GameCube controller one of Nintendo's best controllers, and the Nintendo 64 controller one of their worst, but ironically, Ocarina of Time does play better on the old Nintendo 64 pitchfork. The yellow C-stick is the best replacement for the 64's yellow C buttons, but it's far from ideal, and the left stick feels a bit jumpy on the Cube's controller, which can make aiming a bit more difficult. I mean, not for me, of course. I play this game at least 3 times a year. But another issue is that this version of Ocarina of Time is actually based on the second Nintendo 64 release, which changed the audio in the Fire Temple and also made the blood green during the incredibly climactic final battle with Ganon. Now, they are minor changes in a sense, but they've always made the game feel a bit incomplete to me, especially at the end. But with this game, the positives always outweigh the negatives. Many critics, journalists, and fans have called this the best game ever made, and when you play the game today, especially with these visual improvements on the GameCube, it plays just as well as it did 13 years ago. I mean, it should be shocking, but on the other hand, it shouldn't be. This is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and from this masterpiece, this revelation in game design, we should expect nothing less.